You always look at it, okay, what's the script and who's involved? So I had dinner with Kevin before he even had shown a script to anybody, and he went over the basic story, which sounded really intriguing. You know, David and Courtney and Nev were preparing to come on board. So when we kind of all heard that we were all willing to do it if the other ones were doing it, that was a big part of it. You know, good story, central cast, and then, you know, people like Marco Beltrami, our composer of all the Screams, immediately called up and says, I want to do the score. And Peter Deming was available, our DP of all the Screams. So it's like, you know, the team was in place and ready, even though many of us hadn't seen each other for years. So it was a great feeling of let's get back together and go on the road again.
No pun intended, but any Scream in a Scream movie is an iconic moment. Yeah, that's what it is for me. That's what makes the franchise for me. The screeching and the horror.
Yes, it's very eerie. That mask alone, I mean, look at that face. It's pretty it's pretty scary.
You have to come back with something that's worthy of coming back in a way. And you are addressing not only a whole new generation of young fans, but a generation that has gone with you through 3 and then seen a decade worth of other films. So you have to be as good as or better than all those films.
Ready and action.
There's just a tremendous analysis of the last 10 years of horror. One of the opening scenes they're talking about torture porn and, you know, the way the internet and film have merged.
A fucking Facebook killer? You're kidding me, right?
I guess now it would be Twitter.
What kind of generations have been sort of engendered by films of that sort? It really intellectually, artistically, and sort of scarily, interestingly woven together in a way that's fresh and new.
The whole self-aware meta shit.
You know, these films are not only great horror in the sense that they're very scary, but they're also very witty. You know, they're self-referential, and they also take a look at the time, you know, whatever generation that is, whatever decade we're in. And, you know, so in these films, we take a look at like, technology and how things have changed in that sense.
But in a way also it's an interesting treat for the audience to kind of, you know, Wes is on Twitter and he's tweeting about things that we're shooting and David's, you know, tweeting photos from set, and it's kind of a cool way to keep everybody involved in the process.
Oh my God, Dewey.
What hit me?
Don't ask.
Working with Courtney, David, and Nev, it's, you know, it's just, it's a very relaxed kind of family feel.
Just look back.
And I think I know how to bring out the best in them, and they know how to bring out the best in me in a way, and the characters are known, and they're rich. It's a pleasure.
If there's been another murder in Woodsboro, obviously, what?
That is not public information.
It is all over the internet, Dewey.
It is?
Yes, the whole world knows about it before me.
You know, David and Courtney and I knew it was coming. David and Courtney and I have been friends for and keep that. Have been friends for 13, 14 years now. And so to know them personally and then to work with them professionally so many years later was a great deal of fun for me.
Courtney and David feel like family now. You know, it's been so long that we've been making these films and we've had so many experiences together that they do feel like family. So it's lovely to get back together with them. And they're hilarious and they're really good in these roles. And they know their roles really well. And, you know, Gail and the Dewey characters are favorites, obviously, in these films.
Yeah, it's fun to relive them, to bring these characters back to life together. To see Sydney again. Aw, Sydney. So much trouble for Sydney.
By the way, have you seen the Grim Reaper? Angel of Death?
What are you talking about?
Your cousin.
Sydney.
Last stop on her book tour, first stop on her road to a new life. It's very dramatic. She's the reason why I love horror movies.
It's a great cast. The younger cast is really good, and really, I think, the people that they've cast, and it just shows that they have their finger on the pulse of the younger generation and what's going on with them and what they might want.
They remind me a lot of, you know, us in the first Scream. And there's a similar electricity from Scream 1 and Scream 4.
Sure. Hello, Sydney.
Emma was just a pleasure from the get-go. I mean, casting for that particular role, you know, she's Sid's cousin, and she has a big role, and you need somebody that kind of had that fortitude and beauty of Nev, that you could believe there was a real genetic tie between the two.
Roll sound.
They work together really beautifully. There are a couple very subtle scenes between the two that are just really beautifully done, full of nuance, and it's just really two very mature actresses.
Saved my life last night. I mean, I know we're family, but you hardly know me. Makes me wonder, if I'd have been brave enough to do the same thing.
Emma's obviously quite young, but she's got the soul of a mature woman that's been on the planet for a long time. So the two can meet each other at the same level, which is pretty remarkable.
I remember I was actually driving to the audition for this, and I was like, I'm kind of nervous. Like, I don't think I want to go. And I literally almost didn't go, and then I was like, no, I have to do it. I mean, I'm just going to do it and do my thing, and hopefully I'll get it. And I found out I got it, and I literally screamed. It sounds stupid, but I was on the phone with my manager, and I was like, ah, and screaming because I was so excited. Hey, Malka.
Okay, it's the one. I feel it. Ready in action.
Get away from the door, Charlie.
Kirby, let me in.
Get away from the door, Charlie.
Kirby, please, it is me.
I'm sorry. I can't.
Hayden is a real powerhouse. Somebody who's worked since she's been a child. Tremendous technical ability.
Oh, we're cutting there. I was like, wait, we're missing someone.
She's able to bring enormous emotionality to something very quickly. Just so full of life and laughter and fun. She brought the picture up so much in her scenes.
I was excited. It was something that I always wanted to do, but I knew it had to be the right one. And for Scream 4 to come around, and for Wes Craven to be directing, and for the whole original cast to be back, it was very exciting.
Hello?
Who is this?
The more impatient version of the person you just spoke to.
I'm sorry. You don't have to be a bitch about it.
Roger Jackson. I asked Roger, I said, are you on the internet? Are you known, as the voice? He said, not really. I kind of put in my contracts with people that they don't see my face.
There's like this guy who always goes to the set, who's calling, who's actually there on the phone. It's very creepy. And we've never seen him within 15 years. It's crazy.
There, you see, you do know this genre.
I mean, Roger can do like Daffy Duck stuff. He can do all sorts of silly things, which he does between takes. But he is the voice of Scream, and I think without him, Scream would not be Scream. He is very gentle, educated, lives a normal life, but is able to take the persona into evil very easily without being threatened by it, and give it immense power and range. And his voice is just an amazing instrument. Roger?
Tell Sydney heads are gonna roll tonight. Tell Sydney it's all because of her. Or maybe she wants to take his place. I promise to be quick.
And it's always funny for me to sit in a recording studio and watch this guy who, except for his fangs and shaggy hair and the hump on his back, he looks pretty normal. But boy, what comes out of his voice box is pretty scary.
Ready, Wes?
Yes.
And
Yeah, I think you can come to, and then towards the end, sort of
Flutter off.
go out. Yeah.
Wes is just so sophisticated. He's so smart and like so knowledgeable about the genre, and he's just a really interesting person. And he gets it. He has fun with it. He likes humor and he likes scaring people. And he's just it's been an honor to watch him throughout these years.
And here's,
That's
yeah.
not bad.
Well, I remember when I first met him, I thought he was going to be really twisted, that he must be really twisted in some way if he spends his life making these kinds of films, that he actually just sort of comes across as this little, somewhat, not sheepish, but shy professor, and intelligent, just professor type. But he obviously has a twisted mind deep down, and a great sense of humor.
I'll say, Wes, now what do you think, how would I react if someone came up to me and with a knife and they stabbed me? He's like, well, Courtney, it's never happened to me. Okay, well, what about the 80 movies that you made? How did it go with those people?
See? And cutting. These things are not easy. So you need to be surrounded by people who, know you and are tough and are dedicated to getting your vision done the way you want it done. And these people are all like that. And I think there's just immense amount of respect that goes back and forth between all of us. I mean, I know what all of their jobs are. I absolutely respect everything everybody does. And I think they all respect me and want me to get the picture I want. So it's just a group of people really tightly bound by time and history together, and skill sets that we can all do our best work together, and that's a great thing.
You don't get this experience that often in this business, that
you're working with people that you've worked with for 16 straight years. You know, it's something special.
We have you sort of in our sights, and we both want to just thank you from our hearts and souls. These guys have all been wonderful and great, from the actors to the grips to everybody. It's such a pleasure. Such a pleasure. Thank you for helping us get through this. Here's the Ghostface.